After months of absolute silence, after endless speculation, after countless fan theories that flooded the internet, Lisa has finally spoken. Yes, LISA Manoban, the global superstar from BLACKPINK, has finally broken her silence about the one name that has been linked to her for so long, Fredrick Arnault. Before we dive in, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because what you're about to hear isn't just gossip. It's a revelation. A story that the world has been waiting for. And what Lisa said this time might change the way people see her forever. For months, fans and media outlets around the world have been obsessed with one question: what's really going on between Lisa and Fredrick Arnault, the heir to the LVMH empire? The world saw them together in Paris, spotted on private getaways in Greece, and even caught glimpses of what looked like shared moments far from the public eye. But through it all, Lisa said nothing. No confirmation, no denial. Just silence until now. Yes, I know him, she finally said in her first exclusive interview in months. But what people see isn't always what's real. That single sentence sent shockwaves across the internet. Within minutes, hashtags like #LISA Fredrick and #LISA exclusive were trending worldwide. Fans were stunned. Was she confirming it? Denying it? Or carefully saying something deeper, something no one expected? In the interview, Lisa opened up in a way she never had before. She spoke softly, yet every word carried weight. She talked about the loneliness of fame, the price of being under constant surveillance, and the way rumors can shape a person's image before they even get to speak their truth. I've learned that silence doesn't mean weakness, she said. Sometimes, it's the only way to protect what's real. But then, the interviewer mentioned Fredrick Arnault's name directly. There was a pause, a silence so long you could almost feel the tension in the room. Lisa looked up, smiled slightly, and said, "He's a good person. I respect what he does. But there are things people don't know." That one sentence sent fans spiraling. What did she mean by things people don't know? Was she protecting him? Hinting at a breakup? Or subtly revealing that there's more to their story than the public could ever imagine? Sources close to Lisa's team suggested that the two had grown distant late last year. Conflicting schedules, continents apart, and the heavy pressure of their respective worlds, Kpop and luxury business, had taken a toll. But others insisted they were still in touch, citing quiet appearances and whispers from Paris insiders that Lisa attended a private family event earlier this year. No photos. No proof. Just mystery. While the internet debated, Lisa shifted the focus back to herself and her art. She revealed that 2025 will mark a new chapter in her career, a deeply personal solo project. "I want to show a side of me that no one's seen before," she said. Not just Lisa from BLACKPINK, but Lisa as a person. Interestingly, multiple reports hinted that Fredrick had privately supported this new project. Some even claimed he was spotted in London during one of her secret recording sessions. Coincidence? Maybe not. Then came the most talked about line of the entire interview. When asked if she was still in contact with Fredrick, Lisa simply smiled and replied, "Relationships don't always need to be defined." That single quote ignited a storm online. Thousands of fan theories emerged overnight. Some believed it was her poetic way of saying they were still together, just private. Others thought it was her way of closing a chapter gracefully, but one thing everyone agreed on: she looked at peace. Unlike many celebrities who crumble under the pressure of rumors, Lisa appeared calm, confident, almost untouchable. She wasn't running from the story. She was owning it, without giving it away. Lisa isn't just a pop star. She's a global force, a symbol of power, mystery, and self-control in a world that constantly demands explanation. And maybe that's why people can't look away. As for Fredrick Arnault, he has remained completely silent. No interviews. No statements. But fans noticed something subtle: he still follows Lisa's private account. Even after all this, coincidence? Or a quiet message that there's still something there? At the end of the interview, Lisa left everyone speechless with one final quote. Her voice softened, her eyes lowered slightly, and she said, "Love isn't something you announce. If it's real, the world will feel it, even if you never say a word." The moment the interview dropped, it broke the internet. Twitter exploded. TikTok lit up with analysis videos. Fans zoomed in on her jewelry, her expressions, her tone, looking for clues. Was that ring a sign? Was her smile hiding something more? Global media ran with it. Korean outlets called it Lisa's most honest moment. French tabloids speculated about a secret engagement. American entertainment channels labeled her the most mysterious woman in pop. Yet through all the noise, Lisa stayed silent again, calm, graceful, unreadable, and maybe that's the magic. She didn't give the world the answers it wanted. She gave it something better, a reason to keep wondering. After months of silence, Lisa didn't just speak. She reminded everyone that mystery is its own kind of power. So what do you think? Are Lisa and Fredrick still together? Have they gone their separate ways? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story, just like Lisa herself, might not be over yet. And if you want to stay updated on the next chapter in this saga, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because when it comes to Lisa, every word, every glance, every silence matters. This isn't just a love story. It's a story about strength, privacy, and how one woman can turn silence into the loudest message of all. And just when the world thought the story had reached its peak, another twist began to unfold, quietly, but unmistakably. In the days following the interview, fans noticed subtle movements online. A single emoji, just a white heart, appeared on one of Lisa's latest posts. Nothing else. No caption, no explanation. But what made it explode wasn't the emoji itself, it was who liked it. Fredrick Arnault, the heir to one of the most powerful luxury empires in the world, who almost never interacts publicly, had tapped that little heart. Just once. But that one gesture was enough to reignite the global conversation. Within hours, screenshots flooded every platform imaginable. He liked her post. Is that his way of saying something? This is their language now. While tabloids speculated endlessly, something else was happening behind the scenes. A luxury watch brand under LVMH quietly announced a collaboration project with one of Asia's most influential global icons. No name was given, no images were released, but fans immediately connected the dots. Was Lisa about to collaborate with one of Fredrick's brands? Was this their professional reunion, or something more personal wrapped in business? Insiders began whispering that the two were seen in the same city again, Tokyo this time. Separate events, different venues, but one night apart. Paparazzi swarmed hotels, airports, and even rooftop bars, desperate for a single photo. But none came. Not one. It was as if both of them had mastered the art of being seen just enough, and never fully caught. And that's when the story deepened, because for the first time, Lisa's tone shifted on social media. In an interview teaser promoting her upcoming solo work, she said, "I used to think silence was protection. Now, I think it's freedom." That one line hit differently. It wasn't defensive. It wasn't guarded. It was liberation. It made fans realize that maybe the Lisa of today isn't hiding anything, she's simply choosing to live on her own terms. Meanwhile, fashion analysts started to connect subtle threads. Lisa's recent appearances featured accessories that subtly nodded to French design, vintage pieces, minimal gold tones, subtle elegance that felt worlds away from her earlier edgy stage looks. Was this her creative evolution, or an emotional reflection of the world she'd stepped into with Fredrick? And yet, through it all, there's something hauntingly poetic about how both remain silent now. No interviews. No statements. Just two people, half a world apart, communicating through glances, timing, and the language of subtlety. But the tension only grew stronger when, days later, a video surfaced online. It showed Lisa at an art gallery opening in Paris. The clip was blurry, taken from a distance, but fans swear the man beside her had the same posture, the same watch, the same quiet confidence as Fredrick Arnault. The video spread like wildfire. Analysts slowed it down frame by frame, comparing silhouettes, gestures, even the tilt of his head. Was it really him? Or just another coincidence in a saga built on mystery? Yet, when asked about it days later, Lisa's only response came through an Instagram story, an image of a sunset, with a single caption, "Some things are better left unspoken." That post became one of her most shared stories ever. Millions of views. Thousands of interpretations. Every fan, journalist, and critic had a theory. Some said it was closure. Others claimed it was a quiet confession. But for those who followed her journey, it felt like something deeper, a statement of power from someone who's learned that the loudest truths don't need to be explained. Meanwhile, Fredrick was photographed attending a charity gala in Monaco. Reporters shouted questions, cameras flashed, but he smiled politely and said nothing. Except, as he was leaving, he paused briefly when asked about Lisa. Just a pause, a half-second of silence, then a faint smile. That half-second became global news. Because in this story, silence isn't absence. It's communication. The world has learned something through all of this. Lisa doesn't chase the narrative. She is the narrative. Every move she makes, intentional or not, creates waves across continents. She's mastered the balance between revealing and concealing, between the personal and the powerful, and that's why fans stay. Not because they expect answers, but because they're captivated by the mystery. Maybe this isn't about whether Lisa and Fredrick are together or not. Maybe it's about how two people from completely different worlds found something that existed beyond definition, something that didn't need validation, headlines, or confirmation. In a world addicted to exposure, their silence feels almost rebellious because sometimes, love doesn't end. It just changes form, and maybe that's the truth Lisa was hinting at all along. As she prepares to release her new music, fans can't help but wonder, will there be traces of him in her lyrics? Will the melodies carry echoes of that Parisian summer, those private flights, those moments caught between reality and rumor? One thing's certain, the world will be listening. So stay tuned, because this story isn't over. In fact, it might just be beginning again, and whether it's through a song, a smile, or another silent glance across a crowded room, Lisa has proven one thing beyond doubt: she doesn't need to say much for the whole world to listen. Weeks passed, yet the echoes of Lisa's interview refused to fade. Every corner of the internet still buzzed with theories, each one more passionate than the last. Then, out of nowhere, another spark ignited the conversation. A French magazine published an editorial titled "The Woman Who Redefined Mystery." Inside was a single black and white photo, Lisa standing by a window, sunlight cutting across her face, wearing an elegant minimalist watch. No logo, no brand mention. But those who looked closely recognized it instantly. It was from a limited line associated with the Arnault family's luxury brand. Coincidence? Hardly anyone believed that. Social media exploded again. Theories flooded timelines. Is this her quiet message to Fredrick? One user wrote. Another added, it's their way of talking to each other, through art, not words. And just like that, what seemed like a closed chapter became alive again. Meanwhile, music insiders began whispering about Lisa's upcoming solo release. The project, reportedly titled Reverie, was said to explore themes of love, distance, and duality, lyrics that blend freedom with longing. A producer close to the project revealed that one of the songs ends with the sound of a ticking clock. Fans immediately connected it to the symbolism of time, perhaps a nod to the man who made luxury watches his legacy, and as fate would have it, Fredrick himself was spotted days later attending a private showcase in Paris. No press allowed, no cameras permitted. But according to one attendee, the final track that played over the speakers that night was unreleased, soft, haunting, and unmistakably Lisa's voice, the line that closed the song. Some hearts don't break, they just learn to beat quietly. It was enough to make even the most skeptical believe that whatever existed between them hadn't vanished, it had simply evolved into something wordless, timeless. Lisa hasn't confirmed anything since. Fredrick hasn't said a word. Yet somehow, their silence speaks louder than any confession ever could, and maybe that's how their story was always meant to be told, not through headlines or statements, but through glances, music, and moments the world will never fully see, because in the end, Lisa's greatest power isn't in what she reveals, it's in what she chooses to keep beautifully, deliberately, untold.